the description as well. Like it, the broadcast, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today. And of course, if you have done that already, thank you. While we wait for others to join us, don't mind the attendance yet. Okay, so you just do what you have to do and then sit back, relax, and enjoy the gist. Yesterday, one of Tifnumbu's appointees, the Dokwemu Stupid Service Director, gave a speech where it was pretty much like a security kind of a gathering, talking about the insecurity situation in that Nigeria. And he did say something which is pretty much true. Like, true. However, he also somehow says something that is also not true. So what was that he said that's true? And that is, he categorically told Nigerians there that the Nigerian police, Nigerian military, they cannot protect everyone, which is true. And that is deliberate, by the way, because the reasons why the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police will not be able to protect everyone is because, number one, the entire security architecture of Nigeria is compromised, corrupt. Now, compromise and corruption, they are two demeaning, destructive, things, if you have to say. So, which means the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police will rather protect the criminals that, turned Nigeria into that jungle that it is, therefore living next to nothing, right, for the protection of the people of the country. So he now suggested that you should defend yourself. Mind you, he won't be the first person to say that as a member of the ruling party as well as the government in power. The Magashi, I think that's his name, Magashi, the former minister of defense under Bukwari, once also advised the people to stop being cowards. He said people should face the terrorists and fight them. So that's exactly that's the same thing that the Dokwemu Stupid Service, DSS, their director is also saying. On the other hand, though, systemically, they are disarming Nigerians, They are disarming Nigerians enough that they are making Nigerians to sit duck and like cows waiting to be slaughtered, just to wait for them. Why did I say that? We have had the instances, true stories, where people actually resisted the terrorists. Indeed, they resisted them, only for the Nigerian authorities, the DSS, the police, the military, and what have you, to invade such communities and disarm them by collecting their weapons, and at the same time arrest those they consider stubborn, who are not going to listen to their instructions. So this is the reality. But the Dokwemu Stupid Service DSS Director Ajayi had this to say. So this is where we're going to start from this evening, okay? Please share the broadcast. It's going to be a long night.
With the CDS. This gentleman, officer and general, does not cease to amaze me. Because he did not only accept to come here, but he did so in writing. He acknowledged and he did so in writing. He's a great team player. In all my years in service, I've never seen a team player like General Musa. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. And tell you a story about the former U.S. President, George Bush. He had gone to campaign in Florida for a second term, and a 10-year-old girl walked up to him and said, when I grow up, I want to be a president just like you. But she said, at this moment, tell me what a 10-year-old can do to help your administration. And President Bush said, anytime you see an American in uniform, say thank you to him. Because every day they lay down their lives for us. General Musa, please say thank you to our troops for laying down their lives for us. But as much as I like General Musa, he underrated me. You know, I have spent 35 years in this job. But for political appointment, I should be on my way out by April. And all I've learned is covertness, how to do things covertly. So, General Musa, you made a mistake with me. When we invited you for this program to be the chairman, you now decided to go and apply for Canadian visa. So we covertly made sure we denied you. So, my dear General, next time when you hear of DSS, and under a leadership like mine, who has swag in doing the job, don't underrate us. So when you leave here, you can see me, you get your Canadians. We wanted you to be here, so you couldn't have been in Vancouver. Speaking seriously about the practical approach to mobilizing to curb insecurity, I'll share experience with you when I was state director in Bauchi. Most of you will remember an incident in Azari. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram, then had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was firing. The community stood, they were resilient, and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, said, and I quote, if we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we should emulate the Azari example. Tafawa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafawa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains. And when the invaders came, they did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafawa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people, is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house. You'll be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, why are you putting gun here? He said, well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first. And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones. That's with the city.
God bless that person who said that all they know is to talk and talk and talk. That's all they know, indeed. The DSS director is talking about self-defense. He's even talking about communities that warded off the Boko Haram, which means in northern part of Nigeria, by what he said, right, it seems, okay, that there are communities that are allowed to own guns for self-defense, but it is not the same in the southern part of Nigeria. In Nigeria, the only people who I think, right, have the right or so to own guns or stockpile guns and weapons, they are politicians and they are thugs. Those are the only people that are allowed to. When it comes to individuals, if they hear say you have gun, and somehow you for example, your community, right? Let's say you have 10 people with solid gun, AK-47 or what have you, or pump action, like, you know, like real gun, there is a tendency that the same DSS secretly, covertly, right? They will corner these guys, arrest them, and take their guns. True story. So when he's talking about self-defense, and then giving examples of those who actually pulled out guns, right? That is why I said that he's not being honest. And that is what they know how to do best. You would think with the insecurity in Nigeria today, right? Nigerians have, you know, the government's backing to go get their own guns. That is not true. In some instances, I mean, in some places, the government, I mean, the government of this state established their own local security to tackle this problem. But it is that same federal government that continue to stop them from, you know, carrying proper guns or proper weapons. So when they tell us to defend ourselves, I don't know, I think in my own opinion, it just seems like they are just mocking us. Because why is Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS detention? Because he set up a security outfit to tackle the same Fulani terrorists to defend themselves, but they decided to label them terrorists, while the terrorists are labeled bandits. And they are, you know, they are very much like qualified for amnesty. Yeah, you know, rehabilitation by the APC, Egbekegbese government. But once they accuse you of being an IPOB, or they said you are ESN, you probably will be dead by then, because theirs is to kill you and use that as their license to kill. So why is DSS holding Nnamdi Kanu if there is self-defense against these marauders, against these terrorists, is recognized by the same Dr. Stupid Service, formerly Daura Stupid Service? Here is the other part of that is jargons, by the way, just for the record.
Bigger ones, the organized ones. But it is impossible for us to deploy to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies that has the resources to do it. So as we live here, we all belong to one community or the other. What we have to start experimenting is how we can make the community to prepare first, if the first line of defense for us. General Wahab said it clearly. And for me, there are 3 takeaways from his lecture. By the way, the general and I were guest speaker at one program in our office, so I'm not surprised that his dexterity. He has developed some sort of expertise in what he does. But 3 things for me. He asked us a question. What is our own culture? Our culture is communal. We do things together. Festival together. Ceremonies together. Wedding ceremony, whatever. So why can't we fight some miscreants, some charlatans among us together? The community should say, you cannot come here. This is what Tafawa Balewa has done. If you go to that community to attack them, you'll be sorry for yourself. I challenge anybody to try it. And this is the way we have to do. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense. Second takeaway from what the general said. Whole society approach is not the first time we are hearing. But what I'm saying, the way to do it is when we live here, those of us who have some influence, the elites in society, discuss with your communities, come to us, get some sort of approval and guidance, and then we can stop these criminals. You can imagine you call sector, let's say sector 4 or whatever, sector of the army, to come to this community if there's an attack. Before they even arrive there, if they attack another community, what happens? This is what we should take away from here. And lastly, he said something very instructive. By the way, I like Osman. He knows who to give time. Have you seen him around here? He has advised himself. So don't.
Okay, just to hold him, on his words, he said they should develop a kind of like a process, right, or procedure where communities or individuals or people that need some clearance, like possibly some government-issued licenses, apart from the normal gun licenses, okay, to give you the clearance that you could own this particular gun or you could hold that particular guns and all of that. And in your community, so wherever you are under any attack, you can defend yourselves. But like somebody said, it is all talks, no action. Or it is compromised, kind of. When I say compromised, I mean it is not a one-size-fits-all kind of arrangement, okay? Because there are other factors, right? There are other factors that will make it impossible for them to allow all of us to own our own guns and defend ourselves like he suggested. Because everybody knows why we are all asking for guns. We are all asking for guns to defend ourselves or protect ourselves from who? The Fulani terrorists. So you have the Fulani terrorists in the forest. You have the Fulani terrorist sympathizers in the cities. And you have Fulani terrorist sponsor in government. So allowing us to harm ourselves is, is practically us saying, or literally us saying that we are harming ourselves to defend ourselves against the Fulani terrorists in that contraption. So that is where the saboteurs within their Al-Qaeda People's Congress, People's Congress, APC,